welcome everybody to our pilot episode of David and Diesel's
Dirty Dozen.
I'm David Brooks and this is Patrick Strictly, but you may know him as Pat Diesel. And this came up, we were going to do some top 10 lists for you guys for my blog and then maybe do a podcast. Well, we thought it would be better if you got to see our sexy bodies the whole time while we talk about stuff. So we're going to do a YouTube video. Hopefully weekly, probably not because we're both lazy, but we will try our best to get this out as much as possible. And what this is it's basically a top 12 list of like just random things in popular culture, like movies, music, restaurants, sports, TV, maybe books. If it's books, I'm taking a sick day because I, as we all know, have only read like 3 books.
Yes.
So, and that's if you count Where's Waldo. So,
yes.
But
nothing
anyway,
over 100 pages.
Yeah. This is our pilot, and we wanted to do something simple for the pilot. We were going to do the best movies of all time, but that would take a lot of time, and we want to get this pilot out there so everyone in the world knows that this is getting started now. So,
What do you mean by world?
everyone in
Like
this
10
country,
people are going to know.
maybe 5 people watch us. I have a lot of readers. 13,000 people have read my blog.
How do you
Probably
know
they're all me
readers?
just clicking over and over again, but I don't know. But you know,
You
so
can't hide behind those
Yes.
phony numbers, Brooks.
what are you quoting a movie or something?
Anchorman!
Oh God,
Anchorman!
I'm sorry I missed it.
It's a classic Vince Vaughn line.
But anyway,
That's an oxymoron. Classic Vince Vaughn line.
well, so for the first list, our first top 12 list, we are doing the top 12 man crushes. And the way this works is we're both going to put our list of 12 together before we shoot this, and then neither of us know the other person's. So we're just going to try to, like impromptu style, talk about these different people. And hopefully he knows my people well enough.
I guess we'll see. Hopefully you
Yeah.
know my people well enough.
But, this is our first episode, so we're just getting the hang of it here. And then throughout our time, we're going to have different segments that are not just this top 12 list. We'll have breaks and then show you some other sides of ourselves. But this first one, since it's our first one and we have to explain to you, so it's taking up a lot of our time. So we are going to start doing our list now.
Alright, cool.
You go first with your number 12.
Going first. Number 12. Beginning off my list is Russell Crowe.
Russell Crowe.
Yes. I'm a big fan of the movie Gladiator.
Is that the main reason that he made the cut?
That is the main reason. Although he did appear in Robin Hood, that is not the reason he made the cut. That movie was subpar for a Robin Hood film.
The movie Next 3 Days is highly underrated.
It is. Russell Crowe is really good in that. Although they made it look like Liam Neeson was in it a ton. He's in it for 5 minutes.
A current event, Russell Crowe is going to be Noah. What do you think about that?
I haven't decided. The movie looks like it will be a good movie.
It's hard to make biblical movies good movies.
It's true, but if anybody can do it, Russell can.
I guess so, but he also has a really crappy Australian rock band. That
Yeah.
would keep him off of my list.
Oh, so you're bringing in everything. I'm mainly focused on what
It's
was
man
these one
crush.
things that really, brought it home.
Well, would you like to hear my number 12?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Well, it was brought to my attention that I didn't have John Malkovich on the list, and I'm really upset about that.
I did point that out.
And then, he's one of the most quirky actors there are out there. He's funny in pretty much everything he does, even when he's in serious roles.
Yeah.
Have you not seen The Man in the Iron Mask?
I have seen The Man in the Iron Mask, but it's been a long time.
He's one of the Three Musketeers. Along with Gerard Depardieu, who looks like Alan Flinchum's stepdad.
I did not know this.
Yes. Do you know who Gerard Depardieu is?
I do, but I did not know.
Okay.
I did not know the Yeti stepdad.
But you know about Yeti Stomps.
Of course, I know Yeti stomps. I consistently do them in the summers.
Another person I forgot to add to the list was Patrick Swayze. I don't think he'd make the list, but I am crazy for Swayze because we talked about The Outsiders before this aired, and it made me want to put him on there. But
That's true.
I think
Yeah.
it was just like, instinct there. I didn't really want to put him on there. And the third person that didn't make the cut that could have made it is Morgan Freeman. And everyone knows that I once wished that I was one of the little black marks on his face.
Now, which one? Did you have a specific one?
No,
or
no.
Just in general.
He has those weird.
Yeah, but he has like that triangle there, and is it one of those or is it a different one?
I don't know. I think it might be part of the triangle.
Right.
Maybe the top. But anyways, my number 12 is Mike Tyson. Mainly because I like talking to like him sometimes. Not my best, but it's up there. And anyway, I picked Mike Tyson because honestly, he's a really funny guy. And he has literally no respect for women. And due to my current being a sexist, I thought it was right that I hang out with fellow sexists and put Mike Tyson on the list. He has been quoted saying he will not do interviews with women unless he fornicates with them first. He has said to some that he wants to make them his girlfriend. And he's most well known for his quote to Lennox Lewis that he wants to eat his children. Not only all of that, he has also bitten off a man's ear.
This is true.
Has either of us done this?
I have never bitten off a man's ear.
So,
There are many stories circulating about my activities, but none of them are biting off a man's ear.
And let's not mention his great acting career.
Yes, The
He's in
Hangover.
The Hangover,
The Hangover.
and he played himself.
Yes,
And it's hard to play yourself.
it is.
And
You
then
never know what you would do, you know?
the man also has a tattoo on his face. Neither of us have done that either.
No, I mean, obviously.
But anyway, let's get on with this list.
So, had I known that we were going for people that you could do impressions of, I would have done Kermit the Frog. But
That's not
I
a
did not
person.
put him on the list.
But remember, it's not a real.
So I'd have to go with, what, Jim Henson?
Yes.
And then say because of Kermit the Frog, and then do a
Yes.
Kermit the Frog?
Yes.
Well, too bad. I'll have to hold on to that for later. I didn't know you were going to preface yours by saying all the names you left off the list. Jeez. If I was going to do that, we would have had a much longer thing before Russell Crowe.
Yeah, but this is trying to be a 30-minute show, and I'm thinking
And
we are.
we're stretching well
Yeah.
beyond it. So let's go to the next one. All right, so for me, number 11 was Ewan McGregor.
Ewan
Why?
McGregor.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes, but most people would say that even though he was Obi-Wan Kenobi, he was in the worst 3 Star Wars movies there are.
He was. However, he was the only saving grace in those 3 Star Wars movies, if you don't count Liam Neeson in the first one. And Sam Jackson, of course,
Yes.
in the other 3, in all 3.
Yes. And with Ewan McGregor, Big Fish is also a good movie. Have you seen that?
I have not seen Big Fish. I have seen The Island, which features Ewan McGregor. And I do
We
enjoy
watched
that
that.
movie. It has Steve
We
Buscemi in it.
we watched that my first night at the condo.
This is true. I remember. I was there.
And Michael Clark Duncan, God rest his soul, is in that film.
Yes.
Anyway, my number 11 is Martin Scorsese. Now,
Scorsese.
yes,
I did not see that coming.
well, my list would you say has a lot of chocolate
It does.
on it.
It does.
And if you know me well, you would realize this before you even heard my list. But when you have 3 of your movies in my top 10, 2 of which are in my top 5, possibly 3 of which, you got to give the director some kudos.
This is true.
He directed Casino, which is my second favorite movie of all time. Goodfellas, which is probably my third favorite movie of all time, and they do occasionally flip-flop. Depends on what kind of mood I'm in. and then Gangs of New York, which is possibly my fifth favorite movie of all time.
That's a great movie.
And that's not even including The Departed, Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, which are all really good movies. And so, with that being said, he had to be put on my list. That and the fact that he can rock a pair of spectacles and do some weird stuff with his eyebrows and make himself look pretty darn nice. So he is a man crush of mine. So I'm into the cougar, whatever the male version of a cougar is.
The male version of a cougar? I'm sure they're working on some word for that. Shall we move on to my number 10?
They're just really creepy. If you're if you're a woman and older men, you're what, a grave or no, gold digger.
All right. So my number 10. My number 10 is James Franco.
Oh,
This
that is a good one.
mainly came up because earlier we were discussing Freaks and Geeks. And James Franco, I don't want to sound too gay, but he has that wonderful smile.
He has that thing about him.
He has that thing.
Like we don't understand why Lindsay's into him the whole
series.
time, but you just can't help it.
Yeah, he just has that kind of personality.
I totally understand. Like he's like just that guy. He's the guy. Have you seen Never Been Kissed?
I'm not.
Well,
Apparently I need to.
he's that guy. And my number 10, Walter White himself, Heisenberg, Bryan Cranston.
It's a solid choice.
I do have portraits of the guy hanging up in my condo, so I better put him on the list somewhere. He is the second white guy to appear on my list, and the last white guy you'll see on the list. But he was always one of my favorite actors that are not really well known, like Luis Guzman type guys that are just in a lot of things but never a lead role. But when he landed this role, it just propelled him to another hemisphere. Stratosphere. I'm getting lost. But anyway, Breaking Bad is the main reason. Let's try to pick up some time here. You go to number 9.
Yeah, let's make up some time. My number 9 is someone who's not well known, is Jonas Armstrong.
You're
For
gonna
those
have
of
to
you who
enlighten
are fans of the BBC series Robin Hood, you will know who he is. He
That's
is
right.
indeed Robin Hood.
Of the 5 people that watch this, I doubt any
Of the 5 people that watch this, there's a good chance he's not on there. And we're back.
Sorry about that, guys. The batteries died. This is our first.
This is our first episode.
We know we were talking about Jonas Armstrong, and we know we were talking about how probably we have 5 viewers, and the chances are they don't.
The chances are Jonas Armstrong is not on the list of people that you know. However, he should be.
He was Robin Hood, if you didn't see it.
Unfortunately, that's pretty much his only role. So if you're looking for him in anything else, you are out of luck.
All right. My number 9 is Rasheed Wallace. Now, he went to North Carolina, and I understand that you are an enormous UK fan as well as I am. But my NBA, I do not, decipher based on colleges. It's the players. This guy I think he holds the record for most technical fouls ever given. And he also played his whole career with a weird little thing in the back of his head, the bald spot that video games started realizing, and they would actually put it in there, and I always thought that was amazing. And then he also played on early Portland Trailblazers teams with the legendary Arvydas Sabonis. Stuart, you will get this. You will enjoy this reference. And he won a championship with Tayshaun Prince.
This is true.
With the Pistons in the mid-2000s. And that's why he made the cut.
All right, so I'm up again.
Yes.
My number 8 is David Wenham.
Another
No.
name I don't know.
David Wenham, most likely you will know him from one of 2 places. He was Faramir in Lord of the Rings, which is why I put him in. And he is also, I can't think of the character's name, but in 300, he's the one that loses the eye.
Oh, I don't know the name.
Um,
I know what you're talking about, but
It's like Daxos or something like that.
so that's another back-to-back minor.
But anyway, David Wenham, Lord of the Rings, he plays Faramir. Faramir is one of my favorite characters in all movies. And mainly because because of the book rather than the movie, but in the book he has this amazing resistance to the ring, and for that one viewer that might be a Lord of the Rings fan, I'm hoping to keep your attention for just a half a second there.
All right. As we know, I've only seen the first one.
Yeah, so that means you haven't even seen David Wenham yet in Lord of the Rings.
My number 8, and I was back and forth with this one. Remember, you didn't understand why my number 8 was the one that was the cut.
Yes.
It is the great, legendary Pat Sims on the Bengals.
That is awesome.
It was between him and Wallace Gilberry. We all know my favorite fruit.
Your favorite fruit is not going to make the cut?
Yeah, my favorite fruit is the Gilberry.
That's one of my favorite
And
fruits as well.
Go ahead and say what your least
But
favorite.
I hate the plumley. The
Yeah.
plumley is a terrible fruit.
But anyway, Wallace Gilberry did not make the list. Basically because of Pat Sims' ability to be anywhere on the field and join any little skirmish that was going on. He always has his teammates' backs. He had a broken arm and he didn't care. He was down in the action. He's also a hefty African American, and for some reason, I always root for those guys.
All right. My number 7 is Carrie Elways.
Yes.
You may know him as Robin Hood from Robin Hood Men in
Yeah.
Tights. However, that is not the reason I put him. I put him because of his role in The Princess Bride, which is a great movie.
Yes.
And I think all of our 5 viewers will know that one.
Hopefully. And someone who could have made my list, Andre the Giant, is in
Is
that
also,
film.
yeah, he's also in there. And
Yeah.
Mandy Patinkin if you're into Criminal Minds.
Yes. Nice reference.
Well,
Okay, my number 7 is showing the nerd in me. Jervis from Survivor Season 1 and the most recent season.
Jervis.
He did make the cut on our first ever intros,
That's true, he did.
and that was basically because I made the intro. But anyway, he made the cut because he's the reason that I started rooting for African Americans when they're in reality shows. Because he was the first one I was rooting for, and they always gave him like a bad persona on there when he was actually a good guy. And it turned me into becoming a huge fan of the show by being a huge fan of his. And I carry on the tradition. Every reality show I watch, I always root for the African Americans. Because there's only like one of them ever on there. So they're always the underdog. And Jervis is the reason for that. And I rooted for him this last season, and he came in third. And I was happy for him.
And of course, we know you love Philip.
Yeah, Philip is not on the top 12, but I can't put... If I did top 12 reality personalities, he would make the cut.
Okay. So, would any of other members of Stealth R Us make the cut?
Boston Rob probably, but I didn't like him until he won it all. I thought he just ran the
He
perfect...
played, the perfect game.
Wait, we are going to have the 12 best survivors of all
Okay,
time.
okay.
Let's save
So let's hold off on the Boston Rob perfect
Yes.
game until then.
You need to tell me what your
All right.
number 6 is.
My number 6 is Mr. Willy Wonka, Gene Wilder himself.
Yes, he is also in Young Frankenstein.
He is
which
also
a
in Young
classic
Frankenstein.
movie.
He's also in Blazing Saddles.
Yes.
He's in quite a few great movies. However, my love of Willy Wonka is why he is on this list. There are few movies that have better one-liners than Willy Wonka.
Yes.
And that roll he does at the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, he's walking out with the cane and he just rolls and then pops right up.
There, in our intro, you are in a picture where you are playing Willy Wonka,
This is true.
but everyone thought you were somebody else, and I can't remember who.
I think everybody thought it was Mad Hatter.
Yes, everyone thought you were.
Because
the
Alice in Wonderland was relatively new at the time, and people just assumed that I had to be the Mad Hatter.
Well, number 6 for me is someone you probably have no idea. Snoop Dogg.
Oh, Well, I can't really contribute to this conversation.
Yes.
However, I do, of course, know who he is.
Yes. He lives life the way he wants to. And I'm a big fan of his 90s music more than his current stuff. But he also finds time to be a great family man. And he's actually going to be at Bogart's on February 21st if this airs before then. So go out and buy yourself a ticket.
There you go. I probably won't. But you feel free to buy yours.
I'm trying to get there.
All right. My next person is my only athlete to make the list. Randall Cobb of
Ooh.
Kentucky and Green Bay Packer fame.
Yes, he was a one-man show when he was at UK.
Yes.
He had to play quarterback, wide receiver, punt returner,
Running back.
running back,
And occasionally, any other position that was required on the field.
and he still reps BBN.
He does.
I've seen him be the Y a few times.
He's been the Y. He's done that a lot. He also has is tied for the longest run back in NFL history, I believe.
Yes, last year to start the season.
Yeah.
Not this last year.
Not last year, the year before. His
rookie
rookie year. Yeah.
My number 5 is also a football player. It is not the beer. It is not the guy that signed the Declaration of Independence. Or did he sign it? Sam Adams?
I believe he was a signer.
Yeah, I thought so too. Well, anyway, the cousin of John Adams, who was an alcoholic, which is why he probably has his name on a beer right now, which is an okay beer. It's not the greatest beer.
Sam Adams is pretty good.
It's okay. It's okay. It's just okay. But we'll do our 12 beers sometime. We'll need to get your dad to be a guest on that one.
Yes, my dad would be a very good guest on 12 Beers. We can show pictures of his wall that has all the beer cans. It'd be pretty awesome.
We would do the episode in front of that.
That'd be great.
Anyway, Sam Adams, the football player, has a Super Bowl ring with the Ravens in 2000. He played here for 1 year. I liked him before he became a Bengal, so just imagine how I felt when he signed. He played his 1 year here. They should have made the playoffs. They blew it. All they needed was an extra point in Denver, and all they needed was a kick in overtime by Shane Graham, who would not make my list ever. He's a ginger, but I don't even want to get started on that. But anyway,
What if one of our 5 viewers is a ginger? You probably just made someone not watch this show.
No, I can get along with gingers, and a lot of them I'm okay with. Like if Justin's gonna take this the wrong way, but anyone else. Anyway, let's go to your number 4.
Anyway, my number 4 is my favorite Robin Hood of all time, Errol Flynn.
I thought he was gonna be your number 2.
He did not get into the number 2. I definitely considered putting him at number 2.
Did it
Errol
have to do
Flynn.
with his extracurricular activities?
Some of it did have to do with extracurriculars. However, he does have several other movies that I do enjoy. Captain Blood is a great film. If you ever get a chance, watch it.
Is it okay to talk about his extracurricular activities?
Go for it if you would like.
He seems to like the younger girls,
Yes, he does.
and he got caught. But
Yes,
it's what Woody Allen's going through right now.
that's true.
But let's get back to.
It's where the expression.
That's why he
comes
moved.
from.
I'm just explaining. He would be his number 2 possibly, but this stuff happened, so he's down to number 4.
Now it's important to note Errol Flynn's been dead a long time.
Yes.
So this stuff happened quite a while ago.
Yeah, and times were different.
Yeah,
But
times were different. Not that different.
not
but
that different.
I think she was 14. Times were not that different.
Yeah, I mean, what's that show? That show that the Nightline show.
Oh, To Catch a Predator.
Yes, he would be on that.
Well,
Would
I
it be
don't-
crazy if
I don't
Errol
think he-
Flynn walked it?
He didn't have to resort. He would have had to resort to online
Chris
means
Hansen.
of finding things.
Yeah, Chris Hansen would be. He would.
He was a huge Hollywood
Yeah.
star.
Remember, they have had Hollywood people on there. It was actors I've never heard of.
But it was like B-listers.
No, not
Errol
even
Flynn was an
B-listers.
A-list.
Yeah, but could you imagine him walking in with the Robin Hood outfit on?
That would be pretty funny. It would be pretty funny. But
Hey,
still,
baby.
his role as Robin Hood and as Peter Blood seals him in as a solid number 4. However, his extracurriculars keep him from moving any higher.
Now, do you think he has a little John or a big John?
In the movie, he has a little one.
Anyway,
They also cross sticks at one point.
my number 4 is a musician. I'm looking back here. It is my first musician. Well, no, Snoop Dogg. If you count rap as music, which you don't.
Which, yeah,
But anyway, my number 4 is David Ruffin. Do you know who that is?
I do.
A lot of people probably don't. It is the lead, well, one of the 2 leads from The Temptations. And he had a major cocaine problem
Yes.
and
Just
a major
Just a major woman.
woman problem. Yeah, he liked the ladies and he liked
Mhm.
cocaine, which every woman in that era did that was in music, pretty much. I don't want to generalize.
It was
but
pretty common.
It
was
was
very
a
common.
normal thing, and he died too soon. But
I don't know. If
He
only
is
Barry
one of the
Gordy could've kept
greatest,
him out of
yeah.
it.
I thought you were going to talk about Barry White, who
No,
should have
no,
made
no.
my list.
No,
Why is Barry White not on your list? I thought maybe you were just saving him. No.
No, Barry Gordy.
Yes, I know
Yeah.
who Barry Gordy
Okay.
is. But anyway, David Ruffin is got one of the best voices in the history of music, and that's why he's in my favorite band of all time. Well, if you count bands, groups, same thing, whatever.
Okay.
But he,
I'll give you bands on that.
yeah. Okay. Well,
They play instruments.
his brother is Jimmy
Wow.
Ruffin. Just trivia for you guys, if you know who that is. As I walk this land of broken dreams, there are visions of many things. But happiness is just an illusion. Do you know the song yet?
I gotta be honest,
Filled
I
with
don't.
sadness and confusion. What becomes of a broken hearted?
I don't know.
Damn
Sorry.
it.
I'm sorry.
Okay, back to our list.
We're on me. Correct?
Yes.
Alright. My number 3, Harrison Ford. Of course, there's 2 reasons for this. One, Indiana Jones, 1 through 3, because that other one doesn't exist. And of course, Han Solo.
Oh my god, have you heard about Shia LaBeouf lately?
I have heard things about Shia LaBeouf, but I like to act like he doesn't exist as well.
Well, we call him Shia LaDouche in this part.
Yes. Yes.
But anyway, yeah, Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yep.
Air Force One is also a good film with him in it.
It is. The Fugitive.
The Fugitive's good. He had a pretty solid career.
Yeah.
He needs to stay out of movies now, but
I don't know. Did you see Ender's Game?
no, I haven't.
Ender's Game's actually pretty good. Harrison Ford gets to play an old guy in it who's supposed to act like an old guy, so it works out.
Okay.
He's not playing an old guy who's trying to act like a young guy. So
My number 3 is the legendary Bo Jackson.
nice.
I was between, I was thinking I'm going to put one of these 2 guys in here. It's either going to be Bo Jackson or Dion. And I left off some good people. I just realized I left off some really good people. I left off Denzel Washington.
How did you forget Denzel Washington?
Well, it's my current, and it always can change, but Denzel's off my list. But Bo Jackson is literally the best athlete ever to live. If he wouldn't have injured himself when he did, he would have been in the Hall of Fame in 2 sports, which is unheard of. A little background on him. He did not want to go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And he said, if you draft me, I'm not going to play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Well, what did the Tampa Bay Buccaneers do? They draft the guy. Well, he didn't play for him, so he just went and played baseball, and I think they drafted him like the 7th or 8th or a later round because they just assumed that he wasn't going to play, and he came and played for the Royals. Had a good career. Went and played for the Raiders after the Bucs realized, hey, this guy isn't ever going to play for us. And then, the rest is history. The Bengals ruined his career. Your turn.
My turn. This is where I had my moment of trying to get 2 people in there and then had to choose. I went with Christian Bailey. That's right. Homer Bailey, Christian Bale.
Okay, I do like it.
Christian Bale is my choice for number 2, even though it goes against my usual hatred of people with the first name Christian, as you I'm sure know why.
Slater.
No, Whitener.
Or Christian Slater too.
There's several others too.
He's in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves.
He is.
Little John.
There's a lot of I don't know why, but people with that name tend to not be that type of person.
My number 2 is not Marcellus Wallace. That's Big Rames, who would be in my top 20, but is not in my top 12. Hui Sherbert, and that means a lot to me. But Jules Winfield himself, Mace Windu himself, and you probably know what's the name that he is in Jurassic Park.
Shoot. You put me on the spot here.
It's
Newman's name is Dennis Nedry. What is his name? Oh!
Well, anyway, he's still got it. It's Samuel
The
L.
other guy's
Jackson.
Muldoon. Hold on,
If you didn't hear
let
me,
think
Sam
about it.
Jackson himself. Now, this guy is awesome. He said he wouldn't be in Snakes on a Plane unless they named it Snakes on a Plane. He's done that with some other things in his career where he'd say he wouldn't do things just unless they do them. So, I love
what about
that.
the purple lightsaber in Star Wars.
Well, that's
He
another
threatened to
one.
not be in Star Wars unless
Yeah.
they gave him a purple lightsaber because he
Well,
wanted everybody to know
this
where Mace
guy-
Windu was.
This guy is also the highest grossing actor of all time. He has, and I don't know if his record will ever be broken, honestly. Except that when, ticket prices go up years
Yeah.
from now. And it's the only way that's going to stop him because he was in that, he was in Jurassic Park, which made a lot of
Plus,
money.
he's in the Avengers franchise.
He's in all these movies, minor roles to where they're big time movies.
with Jurassic Park.
Triple X even made a lot of money in the box office. And
Yeah.
this and that.
Even with Vin Diesel.
Yeah, but we are going to bring him up later on, but not in this list.
Obviously. Why would he
Unless-
possibly be on this list?
Your number 1?
My number 1, drum roll please. Also from Jurassic Park, Jeff Goldblum. No, I'm just kidding.
Is it Rick Astley?
No, of course it's not. My number 1.
I was going to give you another solo.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Never going to give you up, never going to let you down.
My number 1 is the greatest voice of all time.
Drum roll.
If you guys are staying, I guess I wash those blankets.
Mom, get off my room. Keep going.
I'm sorry. But
Leave!
if you want blankets,
Get away!
David, that was so rude.
Alright, what is your number 1?
Number 1.
Now it's anticipation.
The true greatest voice of all time, Mr. Elvis Aaron Presley.
Now, some would argue James Earl Jones is the greatest voice of all time.
We're not talking about voice actors here, David. We are talking about the greatest musical voice of all time.
Okay.
Beautiful. As you know, I have a somewhat unhealthy
Yes.
obsession with the man.
Yes, and he had an unhealthy obsession with a lot of things, including...
They were prescription pills.
Well, I'm talking about the peanut butter and banana sandwiches that he
That's
would
not unhealthy.
drive all the way to fly all the way to Colorado to get.
But it's delicious.
They are really good. He would put jelly on them and bacon. I think bacon.
He
was
did all
in it.
kinds of stuff.
But yeah, well, he did do all kinds of stuff. And
He was an amazing person.
now,
when it came
do
to
you
food.
prefer skinny Elvis or fat Elvis?
I am a fan of the Skinny Elvis. My personal favorite is about the time of the '68 comeback special Elvis. That's probably my favorite.
He was sweating
My
bullets
favorite
with
Elvis.
that.
He was. Well, it was his first. It was his first time playing in front of an audience in a very long time when he did that. Plus, it wasn't exactly a nice, cool stage either. Yes.
My number 1 is also a musician. Also was on the hefty side. And is also someone you probably don't know much about.
Well, we know it's not Barry White because you said you
Yes.
forgot him earlier.
Yes, and he passed away at an early age, earlier than his time. Mid-90s, between the East Coast, West Coast battle, and my number one is Notorious B.I.G. Do you have any insight on this?
Not really.
I guess I'll take the lead. He sings one of my top 5 songs of all time, and he is also featured on one of my shirts. Sam
I have
Jackson's
seen that
featured.
shirt.
Sam Jackson's featured on 2 shirts that I own, by the way.
Sadly, neither of them are
Yes.
featured on any of my shirts.
Yes, but you do need the Did I Break Your Concentration Sam Jackson.
That will be a good shirt.
I got it from Stephen Barry's, which is out of business now. So now I think we need to do well, I hope you enjoyed our lists. This was our first time doing it. We didn't know how it would go. I think we did pretty good impromptu.
It wasn't so bad.
We would get off track a little bit.
We did
here
come up
and
with this idea earlier today.
there. Yes.
So
I mean,
let's not judge us too harshly, please.
Yes, and like some of our lists will take a long time to do. Some of them we'll do them the same day. We'll just see how it goes. Anyway, this is a feature that we're going to do on every episode. At the end of our show, we're going to do a segment called where you just came up with it, so I'm going to give it to you.
The one time.
Yeah,
For all of you little Giants fans, we're referring to the one time.
they could beat you 99 times out of 100, but
But
that
there
still
still
leaves
leaves one time.
Now roll the footage.
Are better than you guys? Even if they beat you 99 times out of 100, that still leaves.
One time. One time. Yeah. One time.
So what is your prediction?
Well, I thought we were going to cut before we did this. My one time prediction. I am going to predict for tomorrow's game a triple double
From?
Julius Randle.
Okay. Mine will also come from that game. I'm going to predict that Kentucky wins, which I'm not sure if they're favored or not. They might be at home, but I doubt it. I'm going to predict that they win by at least 11 points.
11.
But I'm going to go with 12 points because
12.
we are the dirty dozen.
We are the Dirty Dozen, so 12 does make more sense.
So, yes, we're both UK fans if you haven't realized
Yes.
it yet, and most of my fans know me, so they know who I am. So, I hope you enjoyed the show, and it was a good time.
Yeah, it was a good time. We're going to have to do it again.
Yeah. And we already know what our next show is going to be, but we're not going to reveal it. Or do you want to reveal it?
I don't know, it's up to you. You know.
Well, this one is something that has been asked of us to do, so we're going to do it. It's very, it's going to have a small audience, but it's going to be one of our more popular ones just because everybody wants to know our answers. We have been in this league, a volleyball league, for it's been about a decade now.
Yeah, at least it seems like.
And in that, we have been asked to rate our current top. Well, it's been top 10, top 20. Well, what
We're
are we
obviously
doing?
gonna go with
We're
the
gonna
top
go
12.
with the top 12. The top 12 players in the Highland Heights Volleyball League. Friday nights. And if you want to lose, you can go. I mean, we are both 3 times champions.
Yes,
We
that's
are
true.
possibly the 2 most all-time winningest players in the history of the league.
think-
I don't think
I
I'm
think
exaggerating.
it's a very strong chance, I think.
But anyways, that is going to be our next show, and we hope you enjoyed David and Diesel's
Dirty Dozen. I think it was good.